You mentioned a little bit about the transformation that you guys took as an organization from being more of a programmer to an implementer now. So I guess,
Yes.
have you seen that shift in your space overall, or will you say there's still like 50-50 of implementers and programmers?
I do that. I think in general, most organizations in our space are, well, yeah, many of them I think have kind of moved to be more of an implementer of off-the-shelf technology because there's such a
There's
prevalence
so
now of
many.
off-the-shelf, yeah, technology tools. Generally, folks are not doing, especially when it comes to e-commerce. I haven't run into many settings where someone is like brand new creating something from scratch. There is, I will say now, there's a big trend moving towards headless e-commerce implementations, and that, where the front end of the website is developed separately from the
Back end.
logic that's driving the back end,
Mhm.
and with different technology tools and it's actually even a little more complicated than that. There's like different components that might be run by different software systems that you're stitching together in a way that enables the system to be easier to maintain, but can be more labor upfront. Depending on how you architect it. So that's the interesting thing. It's almost full circle in the sense that when you're developing headless solutions, it's not simply the implementation of software. It almost feels a little bit more like it's not pure custom development, but it almost feels a little bit more like that that we got away from. But it has some real benefits as well. At the end of the day, we're always thinking about how much does the solution cost to maintain, for an upgrade and ensure that it's always available for companies.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Analytical Rewired, the best place to discuss various obstacles, limitations, challenges, behaviors, and how to overcome them in business. We deep dive into the complexities of people, processes, data, and technology, PPDT, adopting our focus to be either technical or creative expressions, and how to balance the two. The Analytical Rewired is brought to you by the MJW Group, a performance improvement and leadership development boutique management consulting firm that helps companies save time and money.
Welcome to the Analytical Rewired. I am your host, Jennifer White, CEO of the MJW Group, and I have my co-host here with me, Sarah Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. The year is winding down, and I can't believe it.
It is. It
So,
doesn't feel like it's winding down. It feels like we've got a lot going on.
it's winding up. Let's.
It's
Speeding
winding
up.
up.
Yes.
So you guys hear our guest, Lori McDonald, in the background here. How are you, Lori?
I am great. So excited to be here with you.
We are excited to have you as well. Lori is the president and CEO of Brilliance Business Solutions, and I'll let her dive into her background a little bit more. But we share in some similar circles here in the LinkedIn streets, as well as
Yes.
alum of the Goldman Sachs 10K SB program. But yeah, in my years of knowing Lori, which has been about 2.5 years now, I love everything they do at Brilliance and her team. They are very open and charismatic. So I love that about the team that you've built, Lori. So why
Thank
don't
you.
we have you just start out by giving some more of your background, how you got started with your company, and what's going on with you guys today?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much. So thanks for the great introduction, Lori McDonald. I'm the founder and CEO at Brilliance. I started Brilliance in 1998. And what most people remember about me is that I worked at NASA Johnson Space Center as a flight controller for the space shuttle program before I started Brilliance. My background, I went to school in computer and electrical engineering at Purdue and ended up working at NASA through an internship in college and then eventually full time. And I ended up meeting my husband there. He also was an engineering student at Purdue, also a flight controller at NASA. And he eventually went to work at Rockwell Automation. And then he had a promotion opportunity to Rockwell's headquarters, which is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so we relocated to Milwaukee in 1998. And I was trying to figure out what could be his coolest space. And so I decided to start a web development company because it seemed like a cool place to be. And with my technical background in engineering, and meanwhile, my husband was managing the largest data warehouse at Rockwell Automation with all of the point of sale database with Rockwell's distributors. I found that, so the company I started, Brilliance Business Solutions. So I found that Brilliance was really uniquely equipped to work in the e-commerce space, selling products online, and specifically with manufacturers and distributors, in B2B e-commerce, even though we also have retail e-commerce customers. But that B2B e-commerce space tended to be a little bit more technically complex to manage all the different price points for different companies and data integrations. And so that became our niche. And we've grown as a team. We're now a team of 25. My husband, Dave, left Rockwell about 10 years ago, and now he leads our development team. And yes, as Jennifer, as you shared, we're both graduates of the Goldman Sachs 10KSB program, which has been a great part of our growth journey as well. So many exciting and great things that have been a part of, now we're coming up on 25 years in business. So
Crazy.
amazing.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
And an
Yeah.
accomplishment,
Congratulations.
I know
Yes.
that's an accomplishment.
Thanks. Yes, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So you're up in the Wisconsin area.
Yes.
How
Milwaukee,
cold is it
Wisconsin.
now?
I hear we're getting snow tomorrow, I think. So yes, a
I'm
little
chilly
chilly.
just thinking about it. It gets 40 or no, actually 50 degrees. What am I talking about? And I'm like, oh no, it's so cold.
I know. I went and put on my little sweater.
I know, I've got my flannel on. I'm like,
Nice. That's
chilly.
great. That's great.
Okay. All right. So Lori, digital e-com. So
Yes.
it's not a new term. I think a lot of people think it's a brand new term, but it's been around. But I guess walk us through the iterations of what you've seen e-com like evolve into today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when we started Brilliance in 1998, e-commerce was so different, than it is now. I don't. It's probably it's so long ago. Maybe folks don't remember, but like websites looked really not nearly as nice as they do now. They were very simple. Amazon sold books. That was really it.
I remember.
CDs.
It was so much different, back then. And when we built e-commerce sites, it was all custom development. It was software development that we were writing from scratch. And there was a lot less emphasis on design and look and feel. It was really just functionally helping people place an order. And there was a lot less around available in terms of security. You had to really build all of it yourself. The great thing is that over time, the technology has improved dramatically, and there are so many really great software tools now on the market that help companies to implement their own e-commerce solutions. So while, 25 years ago, originally we were really a custom software development team, still that's a part of who we are, but now also we're really software implementers. So now we leverage off-the-shelf products like Optimizely has a suite of products, but they have some commerce products specifically that we'll implement for customers, one that's really focused on B2B. And then BigCommerce is another software platform that we frequently will implement for companies because of their strong B2B capabilities. And then also now we're implementing Acumen, which is an ERP software solution, because we know that for many of our clients and just in the industry as a whole, in e-commerce now, it's not just a matter of being able to sell the product online, it's a matter of being able to really quickly fulfill that order, and Jennifer is in your world, having all the processes in place to display accurate inventory and enable people to know when their product will arrive. All of those things are really enabled through tight integrations with ERP and having, really good software systems in place.
Yeah, you're right. It has. I forgot about that back then. Like, yeah, websites were so simple, and I
Yeah.
wish we could go back to just the functionality, honestly. Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't need all the bells and whistles. I'm here. I know what I want.
Yeah.
I'm ready to buy. Like, I don't need to be wooed and, multiple sales pages. And just like you're saying, like, I
Mhm.
wish the simplicity would come back for sure.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
kind of my favorite part about whenever I would build websites is I'm a very simple girl as well when it comes to websites. I think it's a lot easier to shop as well if
Mhm.
you're navigating a website that's a little bit more simplified. And so I'm kind of
Mhm.
on the same team as Jennifer. I just wish sometimes there weren't as many bells and whistles, and then this next person's got to do the same exact bells and whistles because they have to compete with this person, and then it just kind of like
Yeah.
spirals out of control. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same team as Jennifer there.
It is really interesting because my background's technical, and like most companies, I think they grow a little bit out of like their founder, and like now we're a bigger team. It's not just me, and we have a UX
Right.
designer on our team. But for many years, we were mostly programmers. We didn't really have like a designer on our team. And so, we would often partner with outside design agencies, and we still do that today. And yet what's really interesting, and I think to both of your points, I think there's an aspect of good e-commerce, like enabling customers to be able to find what they're looking for and place that order. That certainly has it, like, it's definitely like UX stands for user experience. It is definitely user experience, but sometimes like pure design in terms of more like from a branding perspective can not necessarily pay as much attention to the user experience itself, right? That makes it really easy and simple to find what you're looking for, place that order without getting in someone's way.
Right. So you mentioned your audience is typically, or your customers are typically distributors and manufacturers,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
So what size what size market are we talking about, and in
Sure.
what type of industries?
Yeah. So, our target market is manufacturers and distributors, 20 to 500 million in revenue. That being said, we have a few customers that are over $1 billion in revenue. But, it's just a matter of, we find that we work really well in the mid-market space because we really kind of understand their challenges and know how to support those needs. In terms of what industries, we have several customers that are kind of in the industrial supply space. So maintenance, repair, and operations. We have some other customers that are in the life sciences spaces. So customers that like sell like chemicals and to like universities or organizations that do genetic testing for animals, like just a real variety of industries. And we also have many customers in the B2B space. So, some in the office furniture space or shipping supplies. We also have some customers in the retail space as well. So just a real variety, which is one of the things I love about what we do is that, every project is unique, and especially there are always some things in common. I mean, in e-commerce, you always need to, you generally are always thinking about like, how is someone going to pay for their order and calculate shipping and taxes? There are those kinds of things. And yet especially when it comes, I think, to business sales, many aspects of like how the things a customer needs to know to place their order, the types of ways that you might need to qualify them before you take their order. Those things can be really unique and opportunities for us to build really creative solutions for customers.
And I'd be willing to bet that's probably why you guys have been in business for as long as you have. Because you're what I'm hearing is that you're a jack of all trades, and that's kind of hard to find especially the e-commerce world, is a lot of people are doing the same exact thing. So over and over again, so being able to find like that difference, or what makes you unique is probably what draws a lot of your clients to you too.
Yeah. We're, so when we start working with a customer, usually it's because they're looking to move from either they weren't doing e-commerce or they're moving off of, it might have been a platform they built custom internally sometimes, or another platform to something new. But then at the point, we'll move them to that new solution. We're also typically like their ongoing partner for improvements, because, it's not like an e-commerce site is like, oh, I have that done, like check the box.
It's always improving.
Right, exactly.
Always evolving.
Sarah, you have experience here. Yeah, exactly. There's always more to be done. Which is the great thing is that there's data you can measure to like see how you're doing and improve it over time. So yes, we all love data, right? Analytics.
Exactly. Yeah, and that data will tell you what you need to fix. I mean, I think one of my favorite thing is watching a bounce rate go down, just because of fixing the way that the website works, the UX design, improving that so that they want to stay on the website longer because they're actually finding what they need.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Our UX designer, Keely, she recently completed her certification with Bainward Research. And so they have some really great benchmarks that you can use to benchmark you can do your own user research, but for organizations who maybe aren't ready to take on running their own user research, this gives you the ability to benchmark your site against research that's already been done on what makes a great product page, or an order history page, and then figure out what improvements to make that are really going to help move the needle in terms of your conversion rate. And to your point, Sarah, like being able to then make changes and then look and see how your those metrics have improved. That's really, really exciting to be
very
able to
rewarding is what it is.
Yes,
because
exactly.
A lot of times when you're coding, you accidentally break something else somewhere else, and you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Sure.
And then you can kind of go fix it over there.
Yes.
Then you might break something over there.
Sure. Yes, exactly.
It's like whack-a-mole sometimes. So when it actually does work and it comes together, it's so rewarding.
Definitely.
But Lori, I like how you brought up about doing research. And I think sometimes companies don't realize that they may need to pause and do that for a little bit before I usually say it's like ready, fire, aim. Like they just go. And it's like,
absolutely,
do some research as much as you can. We know sometimes you have to tap into some resources that cost a little bit to get access to, but I think it's well worth it, like you said, to do that. So you kind of have a foundation or a baseline and you're not like shooting from the hip, rather.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. I think research can be really helpful. And I think many times organizations will get, in a mode of saying like, well, I know what we need to do. I mean, we all can do this sometimes, right? We have our opinion, but it's really great to base or at least some point, like wherever you're at, to find a way to get started to like look at, to gather data. I like either from your current customers, to talk with your current customers and get their feedback on what would be the most useful for them or where they're experiencing pain points. Or, there are great tools out there that enable you to look at things like heat maps or, do user testing where it's recording users using your site that you can get information on. Just so many ways to gather really great information.
Right. And you mentioned a little bit about the transformation that you guys took as an organization from being more of a programmer to an implementer now. So I guess, have you seen that shift in your space overall, or will you say there's still like 50-50 of implementers and programmers?
I do that. I think in general, most organizations in our space are, many of them I think have kind of moved to be more of an implementer of off-the-shelf technology, because there's such a prevalence now of off-the-shelf technology tools. Generally, folks are not doing, especially when it comes to e-commerce. I haven't run into many settings where someone is like brand new creating something from scratch. There is, I will say now, there's a big trend moving towards headless e-commerce implementations, and that, where the front end of the website is developed separately from the logic that's driving the back end, and with different technology tools and it's actually even a little more complicated than that. There's like different components that might be run by different software systems that you're stitching together in a way that enables the system to be easier to maintain, but can be more labor upfront. depending on how you architect it. So that's the interesting thing. It's almost full circle in the sense that when you're developing headless solutions, it's not simply the implementation of software. It almost feels a little bit more like it's not pure custom development, but it almost feels a little bit more like that that we got away from. But it has some real benefits as well. At the end of the day, we're always thinking about how much does the solution cost to maintain, for an upgrade, and ensure that it's always available for companies.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know, well, you've been in business for a while, so this is going to be hard to pinpoint, but I would love to know kind of like one of your biggest lessons that you've learned throughout all of this time.
Yeah, there are so many. No, I think it would be to really get comfortable. So we have a value at Brilliance that we call trust through healthy conflict. And, I am someone who, my personality, like I like to be a people pleaser. And I like to make people comfortable. And one of the things that I had to learn was that like conflict is both that feedback, when folks give me feedback that may not be positive, that is a gift, that I should appreciate and invite. Because it helps me to get better. And also the reciprocal is true too. Like I need to be comfortable giving feedback, and we need to create an environment as a company where we can disagree with each other, tell each other when we think they're wrong, right? And where we can be like, you know what, doing that helps us to get better as a team, and with our clients too, right? I mean, our clients benefit if they have an idea and we think, that seems like maybe that's not a realistic plan. If I keep my mouth shut about that doesn't do my client any good. And so it's better for us to find ways to kind of respectfully voice, like here's something you should consider, or maybe you're missing. And I think gaining skills in how to navigate that space has really helped me individually, and also our team, as we've kind of tried to work on those skills together.
Yeah, I think I'm constantly working on that. For a very long time, I used to think that confrontation always equaled conflict. And I had to get that out of my mind, because anytime I was, and I don't even call it confrontation, that's strong. Like you said, feedback.
Right.
In my mind, it was always, oh my God, there's an argument. It's going to happen. And I don't know why I always did. But I think kind of recognizing that this is feedback, it's constructive, it's going to help you in the long run, you and the company in the long run. I think once you kind of start grasping that and understanding that, it's a lot easier for you to course correct.
Definitely.
And do it well enough to where it actually benefits, or there are results that you were looking for in the beginning too.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, Lori, throughout the years, I mean, growing a team, I don't think sometimes, especially smaller, even large businesses, I mean, I've been through so many restructures and acquisitions and mergers that it is hard whenever there's a significant change like that. But even with growing a team, even if you're a smaller team, change is hard for some people. And I'm sure you've seen, like, throughout your years in business, like, oh my gosh, like the culture can shift depending on who is on your team, right? And then you guys totally shifted the way you work from, the pandemic.
Right. Yes. We used to all be in person, and now we're all remote. Right. So yes, I mean, and so many people did. And I work with my husband. So like that require, I often say that
Jennifer's
marriage, well, yeah. We've got that in common too. But like, I think like having a healthy marriage and having a healthy business, there are some things that are similar there, because you have to be able to like say, well, you have to be able to separate it and each know what you're doing, right? And you also have to be able to communicate when you disagree with each other in a way that is healthy. So,
Right.
Separation of church and state.
Yes, exactly. Right.
What would you say is up next for Brilliance? What are you guys looking forward to we've got so many great plans in the works.
Right now, we're about to launch. We've done a little bit of this for customers, but we're about to launch a new service for user experience reviews. So if customers think their e-commerce site is underperforming, that we can go through and do a benchmark for them, and included in it is us making some of the changes for them, and then giving them back feedback on how those results improved. So yeah, we're really excited about that. We're also continuing to grow our partnerships with BigCommerce and Optimizely and Acumatica. And we've been working on some new marketing efforts, which is always fun. We've been trying out some audio advertising. So that's fun. Yes. And expanding our paid search. So yeah. Well, yes, exactly. Maybe, I'm not sure where your podcast is published, but maybe we'll find some way to advertise on there.
We're on Spotify.
So, yeah. You're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, who knows? Yes. Cool.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. One other question I wanted to ask is, when should someone that's looking for your services reach out to you all, and how do they even do that? How
do they engage
how can
with
they
us?
find
Sure.
you? Yeah.
Yep. Yes. So brillianceweb.com is our website. Folks can also find me. If they search for Lori McDonald on LinkedIn, they can find me or Brilliance there. And one thing I wanted to offer to you, so you asked when is a good time to reach out. If people are thinking that, they want to implement an e-commerce site, especially if they're in the B2B space, if they sell to other businesses, or they have a data integration that they need to integrate their accounting system or ERP system to their e-commerce site, if they're in the planning stages for that, that can be a great time to reach out. If maybe they're not certain what questions they should be asking. A lot of people don't know how to buy it or what exactly to look for. So we're happy to help people think it through. And we actually have a big commerce planning guide is like a PDF document that kind of walks people through all different questions they should be thinking about. So it's specific to one of the software platforms we work with, BigCommerce, which is a multi-tenant SaaS e-commerce solution. So yeah, if you, I can send a link that you can share in the show notes or when you publish it, that we can let people get access to it. So yes.
Cool. All right. We'll make sure to link that.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else, Sarah, that we missed?
I don't think so.
This was so much fun.
This was awesome. I definitely learned more about e-com because I've been around it in my, with clients we work with. And then when I was, in corporate America myself, but I've always been on the supply chain side of things and more of the commercial side. But it's a different world for e-com nowadays, like you said, than what it was before. So do you have any last parting tips, tricks for the audience?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I was just thinking about that when it comes to me, in my mind, it's supply chain related too, because from a user experience perspective, one of the recommendations that we're often talking to companies about is, if they can make it clear, not just, in the past it was, having something, or even for many companies now, you might say, this product is available, or we have so much of this product in stock. But increasingly, users don't want to know just how much of the product you have. They want to know how quickly it will arrive. Like, and we've seen this on Amazon, right? But something that says, like, not just this will ship tomorrow, but actually says this can arrive Friday, like make a prediction of delivery date, which takes a lot of other, Jennifer, that takes a lot of work that's in your world to ensure that an organization's processes are in place to be able to, have the inventory available and to have that ship out in time. And even in the case, like maybe an organization doesn't have the inventory in stock, but they know that they can get it in from their supplier, and they can say, delivery time of, 2 to 3 weeks or some like estimate, but being able to make predictions around that can help customers make decisions around whether they want to purchase. So Just a quick tip.
Bars. No, that wasn't a quick tip. That was a great,
that was
amazing tip. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
All of these things have to be integrated. And I don't
Yes.
think people understand like the type of tech stack that has to be activated if you're doing what Lori is talking about.
Yeah.
Because your customers want to know, okay, if I push this button and order this today, am I going to get it eventually? And yeah, there's black swan events and pandemics and things that cause shortages and items that have to be put on allocation, but you have to communicate that to your customers. You can't just leave them blind. And what she's saying is you and on at least on the supply chain side, right? There's WMS systems that have to be linked and integrated. Your inventory management systems, your procurement systems have to be integrated. So you even know when you're getting items from your suppliers, right?
Yeah.
So your suppliers have to talk to you and you have to talk to the customer. That's the end goal.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Love it.
So many opportunities. So
yeah, the communication is very important. My poor mother has been waiting on ovens, and she just moved into a new house. She's been waiting on ovens and her stovetop, and someone accidentally deleted her order out of the system.
Oh no.
So now they're like, oh, you're not going to get it until March. And she said, pardon?
Oh no.
Yeah, it was already very far behind. And just no one told her. She called and said, hey, can I just have an update on my order? And someone had just deleted it completely out of their system.
Wow.
She's not happy.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Well, there's a whole bunch of other issues causing that nowadays. But,
yeah, and I was like,
speaks to the importance. Yeah, speaks to the importance of. I mean, because when things like that happen for any organization or customer, I'm sure that's an experience she won't forget, or that any customer, right? That really shades their experience at that company. So supply
chain's still having a hard time, girl.
Right. Yes. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lori, so much for being on with us today.
Yes.
We can talk about this.
Right.
We're blue in the face.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a good time. We enjoyed having you on. Everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We wish Brilliance all the best in the upcoming new year. And thanks again, Lori, for being on.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.